Do you have tent anxiety? Yes. Do you rashly purchase tents on eBay looking for the promised land? Yes. Do you need help? Yes. Then watch this video, my friend. Okay, I've gone and done it again, looking for the perfect one-person, four-season shelter. This is the LITEWAY PyraOmm Plus. This is a sill nylon shelter with a single pole in the middle, really high quality. This is also done in Ultra and DCF versions, and I bought this used off eBay, lightly used, for a bargain price. So I'm going to show you the details, and it'll help you decide whether this is a shelter for you in the future from this little known but high quality Ukrainian company. Now, my tent anxiety problems is based in a few days time. I'm going for a week's trekking on the Tour de Mont Blanc with another well-known YouTuber. I say another, I'm not really well known, he's better known than me. And I'm going to be walking for 5 days and hoping to complete a good half of the Tour de Mont Blanc. And I've been looking at lightweight shelters. Now, you would have seen before the Lightwave tent that I purchased. This is a Lightway, hence my confusion. And I've got a choice of those two. One of them's got to be sold on, and the old standby, the Top Tent Scarp 1, and I've also got a Lanshan 1, and I'm very lucky. I'm really privileged that I've got a choice of tents, but I'm not alone in that. So we can look at this and you can help me decide which one I should take. I've just got a few days to go, so be quick on the comments. Now, the pros and cons of this shelter are that it's highly wind stable. That is really solid there. And I've just done an overnight waterproof test, more on that later. There's guy line attachment points at every point around the tent, and you can save on pegs by pitching it to the corner stakeout points. This is elastic here as part of the venting mechanism. You've got to have an extra peg there, and round the back there is another zip. These are 210D Aqua Guard waterproof zips. There's guy line points here, both sides of the door, but you can see that it's potentially an extremely stable shelter. You can actually pitch this just with 4 pegs. I'll show you the pitching later. I've done this a little bit back to front. Now, this also came with the one-person mesh inner that looks pretty spacious, really. So I'm going to get a tape measure and I'll give you the dimensions. But basically, the outer with these guy lines on, and incidentally, this mismatch of guy lines wasn't done by me, it was by the previous owner, and he's done a good job, but I'll definitely be swapping some of these out to matching ones, because there's all sorts of colours all over the place. The outer, according to Lightway, weighs 600 grams, and the inner weighs 310 grams. So with the guy lines on, it comes up to 660 grams with the tent. So pretty much outer and inner, you've got a really spacious one person, or potentially you can also buy a full mesh inner. You've got a 3-person tent. Now, I've used a 160 centimeters carbon fibre pole, but you could link trekking poles together. This is actually one by Nortent that I've purposed for this. That's a nice lightweight solution, highly adjustable. If you would like a carbon fibre pole, it comes in two sections, and basically you can use them in two parts or add them together according to your requirements. Absolutely massive in here. You know, you could have a big living area here and a cooking area over there. You could fit a table, you could definitely fit a chair. So without further ado, I'll go and get a tape measure and a sleep mat. Okay, width wise, I've got that as 2.8 meters. The end section is 2 meters. So that's why you could sleep people lengthways in here and fit in 3. So the height, just there, the way I've got it set, is at 1.7 meters. Extremely spacious. Let's have a look at the features of the inner. So just on all corners there's these elastic things, one by the back and by the front. Despite the tent having 2 entrances, there's just one on here. And this is a very simple method of pegging it to the outer pegs. And the way it's designed is it just lifts it up a little bit, and that relies on tension here to link to this piece of cord and elastic here. So the tighter that you have that, the more it kind of pulls the inner up and creates a bathtub. So there's a J door, simple toggle, no elastic on that. And to be honest, for the drafty north of England, I'm not a great fan of mesh inners. On my Lanshan one, I purchased the solid inner. Right, let's have a look at the dimensions of it. Okay, I've just measured that to be 80 centimeters wide and 225 centimeters long. So that's going to be more than enough space for your wide or regular 25-inch and 193 centimeters long, I think they are, with a little bit of storage space at the top and bottom. So there's no features really in this inner other than one mesh pocket here. It's designed to be lightweight, and that's going to keep it nice and simple, isn't it? Now, with this being so spacious, I don't feel that this pole is particularly in the way, but you can get a carbon fibre A-frame adapter, so you could put a pole one side and a pole the other and make more space in the middle. Or with the full 3-person mesh in it, you can have the pole in the centre. But to have the A-frame option could be a great choice, especially if it was windy, because it probably makes it a little bit more wind stable. But as I said already, it promises to be very wind stable. I like it. It's going to be a keeper, but I think for the Tour de Mont Blanc, the footprint is going to be a little bit on the big side. And what inspired me towards this type of shelter is when I went on a pack rafting trip to Scotland with my friend Andrew, and he was using an MSR front range, and I've been looking for something that a little bit more wind stable than that, a few more pegging points. Now, I've got this set to 170 centimeters, so what I'd like to do now is to bring the height of the pole down a little bit, just to see if I can get it pitched a little bit lower, make it a bit more draft proof. So that's been pretty quick to do, really, just to retension that at a few points. Now on the door there's just one tie back. That's pretty secure. It's got elastic and a toggle, but for such a big door, might have been nice to see two, but it seems to be doing a reasonable job of holding it back there. Another feature I really like is the clip at the door here. Just take tension off the expensive Aqua Guard zip while you're pulling that down. So a few tweaks. It's definitely brought the tent down a little bit lower. So what other features can I show you? So there's a double zip here. If you were in a forest situation, there's a hanging loop at the top. There's Dyneema reinforcement inside there. There's a vent both sides that's kind of adjustable with this weird kind of like pipe cleaner thing going on, and that's mesh lined inside there. That's elastic there to adjust the tension on that. It's a lovely tent. Now, despite me adjusting that lower, I'm still struggling with this gap at the door. Maybe I could put another, maybe I could get that a little bit lower there for the proper winter, but it's going to be, at the end of the day, a kind of minimum gap, something like that. So let me try, go a bit lower. Yeah, I've managed to drop that a little bit lower again. So there's only a gap of about that much now. In not too harsh conditions, this tent's definitely potentially winter stable. Right, let's have a look at the competition. Here we go. Well, there's a rough pitch of the Lanshan one. This is the 2022 version, the extra large one. And it's quick, inexpensive, and does what you need it to do. So this tent I absolutely love. I got it for a bargain price with the inner. So keep an eye on this little series of mine, my experimentation with this single pole tarp tent, because what I'm going to do in the future is try the Lanshan 1 inner in the LITEWAY. And LITEWAY, hopefully you'll watch this, please consider a solid inner. That would be absolutely fantastic. Now a bit of a reverse pitching going on. To undo the inner, you just hook it off the pegs that you've got for the stakeout points for the tent. So let me know in the comments below, firstly, of the choice that I have, which tent would you take on the Tour de Mont Blanc? And secondly, what's your experience with this kind of conical single pole shelter? I think they're a fascinating genre. There seems to be this weird thing going on in North America where they use this sort of thing as just like a winter shelter, but I often get the impression they don't have the winds that we do. And then to liberate the inner, just unclick that there, and that's it. Then without the inner inside, you can start to appreciate just what a large space this is. And in the summer, you could just have you know, this open, do all your kind of tasks in here, even have your bike in here with you, and then when you are ready for bed, just pop the inner up, maybe. Yeah, really, really versatile and interesting place to be. And if it was hot, you could have this door open as well, have the air flowing through. So these are the carbon poles that I mentioned. Here's one here. Forgive the tilt on it, I was just trying to get it a little bit lower. These are the Nortent carbon poles for the bivouac. You've seen me use the bivouac before. This is the carbon pole set, but highly recommended because you can use it for lots of different things, really. I re-pitched the Lanshan 1 inner and found it went in there well. There just needs to be a little tweaking with the corner guy lines, and it'll even attach to the rear door inners to lift up the inner. So with a little bit of tweaking, that'll work well. So thanks for watching. That's a LITEWAY PyraOmm. It's a lovely problem that I have, deciding which tents to take on the Tour de Mont Blanc. But that's the LITEWAY inner and outer together. That's a lovely little kind of like squishy sort of package that goes down quite small. And I found that if you add pegs and a carbon pole in there. It comes pretty much to 1.5 kilos, which incidentally is the same as the Top Tent Scarp 1. So really it looks like the Lanshan 1 is going to be the tent to take, but check out PyraOmm, because I'm going to be using this again in the future, and for structural stability and size to weight ratio, I don't think there's a lot that would beat it. You know, it's got all those guy lines, that kind of inner tent, all that space, and this package here only around 900 grams. So thanks for watching, and let me know what you think and which tent you would take on such an ultralight hike. I'm sure there'll be massively diverse opinions on that one. And wish me luck in the Tour de Mont Blanc. Cheers.